It's not really that much material. Um, you guys can learn this. Um, just a few topics, of course, like we talked about depreciation, um, depletion. There's need to understand that amortization, straight line, double declining units of activity, right? How to calculate depreciable cost. Okay. Um, these intangible assets, like like that, and notes and bonds payable. Like, well, really notes payable to start out with, to be able to calculate the interest on these notes, right? So like face value times the rate, the interest rate times time. Okay. Um, payroll. And of course, like all this stuff, you also want to know how to write it into the journal entry. Like for example, the depreciation, like accumulated depreciation, for example, like how that would, like for example, depreciation of said thing, right? Depreciation would be debited, and then it would go to accumulated depreciation, and then that accumulated depreciation would increase. Um, disposal of fixed assets, um, discarding fixed assets, that's also important. Um, hmm. How would you write a journal entry for disposal of a asset? Loss of at disposal equipment. Um, I mean, it says it's like a sold when you sell it, but what if there's no value? Um, so there's that. Depletion expense. A lot of this stuff you don't really need to know per se. Like you don't need to know all of it. You could miss a few things here or there. Depletion expense. Like pretty obvious, but like when you guys hear about an expense, you debit this expense. There's gonna be a payable on the other end of it. Okay, either that or it's depletion. It'll be or as in like depreciation type of depreciation. We'll have this thing that's accumulated. Um, let's see. Loss from impaired goodwill. Fixed assets. So like we'll talk about asset fixed rate ratios later. But payroll liabilities, net pay. How to calculate this stuff? There's know how to calculate payroll. Salaries expense, right? All these different types of expenses and payables, mostly payables. Um, salary expense, the total salary expense is debited, and then the payables are credited, and then um, later on it would come out of cash. Pension expense. Let's see like expense, vacation pay expense, payable, okay, pension. But like if there's unfunded pension liability amount, unfunded pension liability. Unfunded pension liability. And then pretty much you guys see like how to write in like the interest expenses of a note. Notes payable. This is also important. The product warranty expense is an expense debited, and then there's usually some type of payable that's credited. If there's like some type of payable that's debited, um, credit supplies and wages. Nature of the bonds payable. Bonds payable similar to notes payable. Remember, guys, like when the market rate is higher than the contract rate, we'll go at a discount. When the market rate is less than the contract rate, would be at a premium. The amortization of these bond payables. If there's like a redemption on these bonds, right? Bonds payable, bonds payable, bonds payable, cash was received, premium cash received. That's an redemption. Present value of money, that's also kind of important. We didn't really talk about that too much. Yeah, time value of money. But there's like a table it might you might like get like a table for that. It's pretty important though. You guys will be able to hopefully calculate time value of money. Counting LLC. Okay. The partnerships and LLC. Liquidating a partnership. the sale of the asset. I mean, there are just like a few problems I do want to go over, like the partnerships, the additional paid-in capital. This is really important. And statement of cash flow. And then the ratios. Depreciation, product warranty, bonds issued at discount. Premium redemption, bonds payable, premium bonds payable, loss, online redemption, bonds, cash. Paid-in capital of excess of par. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much it. Besides, like, the really important stuff about, like, these ratios. So, like, pretty much I would say, gosh. God. Jeez. Pretty much I would say that what well there's like a lot of important stuff here, but just like a few things that you guys really should know. As in like me. Pretty much like besides the stuff like that like you might need to like work on this a little more. I might spend a few hours real quick on, well, if there's some time value of money stuff, of money problems, I might do a few of these. Real quick, we might gonna spend a few minutes, like 30 minutes. Partnerships, pretty much, like, that's like a big one, is like partnerships, right, like allowances, distributions, liquidations, adding new partner bonuses, and withdrawal of a partner. So that's gonna be a really big one. The partnerships and how to divide up these partnerships. Well, this is a little easier, but additional paid in capital, dividends, and APIC, additional paid in capital. That's pretty important. And well, I'm not sure. I forget if I did the cash based accounting, accrual and cash based accounting, but we should just do a real quick overview on this. So statement of cash flows, indirect method, as well as the ratios, and horizontal, vertical, and common size interval. So this is the stuff that we'll just do a few quick problems on this stuff. Just do real quick for me. Yeah, I mean, we unfortunately don't have all the time in the world. And the crazy thing is I did spend a good amount of time on this, but unfortunately, we don't actually have all this time in the world.